Hello, viewers. Welcome back to Podcastmalawi. And once again, it's us with Angle Dimensions, as always. I know that we've been quiet for a couple weeks, but this is how this is going to be working. Every month, we're always going to have one episode with Angle Dimensions. So we're back again, here back in the studio with the team from Angle Dimensions, new faces. Some you might recognize, some are very new and very pretty, if I must say. Yeah. But so today we have more exciting conversations. You're going to hear about it. I mean, it's just more exciting, more about tech, more about AI, more about technology is amazing, people. Technology is amazing. So I'm going to allow them to actually introduce themselves. You know me. I'm Gugu. Gertrude Gugu Mlanga, as always. Yes, pretty, cute. I know, yeah. So yes, let's start with you, my guy. You're the only guy actually in here.
Yes. So my name is Bram Fudzlan, and I'm the co-founder, but also the chief commercial officer for Angle Dimension.
Perfect, my lady.
Hi. So my name is Cassie Morgan. I am the director of programs Malawi at Coopersmith.
Perfect. So let's dive into our topics today with my people right here. So first question. I don't know how we're going to do this, whether we're going to continue how we're doing it before, trying to get more information about these people, like their secrets, people. I got to know a little bit about them, but I'm not gonna share. It's just for me. All right, so guys, can you give me like a little brief or like a short overview about your partnership between Angle Dimensions and Cooper Smith?
I'll let Cassie handle that.
Yeah. So Coopersmith is an organization that was founded in 2015. And that's actually when we started working in Malawi. And our focus is how do we partner with governments and figure out how they can best leverage data and technology to make decisions. So as we all remember, the COVID-19 pandemic happened, and that's how we actually got in contact with Angle Dimension. So we were lucky enough to be supporting the government and the technical staff there. And then AD, as I call them, came. I was like, I don't know if I told you I call you that. But,
It works.
Yeah. But AD came in and they offered their expertise and services for free to support the Ministry of Health. So then we were working on different products together. And then we just continued the partnership with several of the projects that we support in Malawi. And it's just, been flourishing.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one part that I really want to know more or just a little bit. So you approached them or you just accidentally, you met somewhere and like, oh, so I'm Cooper Smith, I'm Casey, and I'm Bram, and I'm from Angle Dimensions that do tech. You're like, oh, we're looking for something. Is that what happened?
Is that my voice? Or is that Bram's voice?
I don't know.
I think that's your voice.
I think so too. It tracks. No, so we actually didn't meet physically.
No, we didn't. I mean, it was actually not possible to meet physically also during COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
We probably worked together for, I can't say for certain, but probably a year before we met.
Yes.
In person?
Yes.
Easily. Yeah.
Yes.
So, no, we just were on calls together because the government was trying to organize, and specifically the Digital Health Division in the Ministry of Health, to figure out what partners have what resources and how can we streamline what systems we're going to put together to support the COVID-19 response. And so AD was at the table, and in the conversation with the Ministry of Health, they saw like this is a very valuable partner. And so we want to work with them. And so as they were supporting the chatbot development and the USSD
and the SMS.
SMS. So that's where we partnered together
to
support those pieces.
All right. So can you tell me the biggest motivation for the partnership, like for you to collaborate and all that? What basically motivated the whole partnership?
Yeah, I'll speak only on my behalf.
You can put my voice as well.
No, Bram, you're being too quiet. I need to hear a little bit. Yes.
So it was was a couple things. One, they're a brilliant team. It was immediately obvious that they had so much technical expertise, and they were very easy to work with, very quick to respond, and very clear. And so that initially was like, wow, this is a wonderful partner. This is someone we could work with while we're doing these like really technically difficult projects, right? So that was really interesting. Bram, do you have one?
No. I think. I mean, you spoke on behalf of Cooper Smith, but definitely, I think for us also, we looked at the aspect of complementing what they were doing. We like to think of ourselves as the team that is very good at what we do, and we leave the rest of the other. We don't want to get in the space of the things that we're not expert. So they understand what they do. And so we thought we could focus on what we know, and then obviously leave them handle what they're based at, which is what she mentioned, to be working with the government and obviously helping the government to see data from a different perspective altogether. Some of the use cases that they've been working on are very. I like to paint a picture when I'm talking to people in the private sector that I think during COVID-19 the government of Malawi was more innovative and ahead of time, even more than how the other private sectors would have invested in the technology, even now, and thanks to their team actually that actually understood this and brought all these technologies.
Amazing. I feel like I'm having a few gaps, especially with you. Yes. So I need to understand what Cooper Smith actually really do. Because I feel like there are so many gaps. Yeah, because I know what Angle Dimensions do, but I don't know basically. Like, just give me a little bit.
Yeah. So similarly, we have some like software developers and technical expertise that can stand up, digital products. But we also have a team of economists, AI experts that work on, for example, so we have a project in Blantyre called the HIV Prevention Project. It's Blantyre Prevention Strategy, but it's focused on HIV prevention. And so there's several work streams in that, but Cooper Smith's focus is how do we get all of the rich data that's available for HIV in Malawi? There's thousands of data indicators out there. Right. But the data is only useful if you're using it. And when there's a lot of information, you can't really filter through it and figure out what's important to make my job easier, to make big decisions about resource allocation, things like that. And so our focus was, okay, let's create a visualization dashboard that allows people from the national, district, and facility level to look at a dashboard and say, okay, what's my STI rate? Over the last year, is it increasing, decreasing? What are the indicators that are important to me that I can then respond to and either put a strategy in place or those type of things. So that's where our focus is. And that support can be data visualizations, or it could be system support. And on a broader level, as you were talking, I wanted to come back and say one of the big things for Cooper Smith in working in the digital health space, we're not a local Malawi organization, right? We're US based, and it's really important for us to make sure that we're funneling money to the local organizations. So that's another huge. If we see local talent like this, we're going to make sure that the development and funding is building capacity for local organizations. So that's a really important focus for us. And that's similarly how we model the relationship with the government too. We want to make sure that we're building capacity. So when we build out these really cool tools, it's great, but it's only great if it can continue when the project ends. So it's really tricky to figure that out. And that's what we're supporting and working on here.
Okay.
But yeah.
Sounds really exciting, guys. I don't know how I can wrap my head around this, but it really sounds exciting. As you were saying about you helping or assisting other organizations, I started thinking about Podcastmalawi. I don't know, but yeah, I'm always thinking about us.
Of course.
Cooper, talk to us. Like we're here.
Yeah, here we are talking about
I
digital
know we're
health.
not into tech, but tech, right?
I mean,
It's
this
tech
is
enough.
this is
tech.
technology.
This is
enough,
tech.
right? Yeah.
What do you mean you're not into tech?
We are into tech.
There's
yeah.
tech. Oh.
Yeah, this is tech. Okay, cool. So, can you tell us more about the first projects that you guys collaborated on, such as the viral load return results system? Yeah, because there are like a few projects that I have here, but let's start with that one first.
No, so I'll let Cass. I think
Why
expound
do you
on that.
keep throwing it?
No, I'm going to. I'm going to begin.
No. You start.
I think she's very good at it.
You've done this to yourself.
Truly, really. Yeah, viral. Lord, return.
Yes. So I'll build from the COVID-19 and then no, but okay. So I mean, Cooper Smith had this project to be implemented in Malawi, and actually, I remember Cass calling me and said, "I think we have a project. Are you guys free?" And she's very polite. You guys free?
That's nice.
You know, so if someone is calling you that they have money and they're asking you if you're free, I mean, you're gonna be free, obviously.
Truly,
right?
there's money involved.
Oh, I mean, you know, cleared all our schedules. Like, yeah, we're free now. We can. But yeah, so they were supporting the Minister of Health with this project. Why I said she should actually speak to it is the impact and other stuff on how, because obviously at the end of the day, you can build, as she put it, you can build all these cool tools, but are they impacting the last mile? I mean, if we call someone in Nchisi, for example, are they benefiting from these tools? And I think that's something that I think is very interesting in this project, particularly that Cass will speak about. Okay. But it was a project that was looking to have tools like USSD and SMS into helping patients with the lab results, and obviously to be able to keep track of the results from a manual perspective of how you'd go to the hospital and get your samples taken, go home and wait for the results to be ready, and then obviously the hospital would actually follow through with you and be able to advise you whether the results are out for further treatment or for further advice and stuff like that. Nice. And so for us it was a very good project because we looked at the impact and I think our expertise in the USSD and building a dashboard that would actually help decision makers to look at the data and make the right decisions and pinpoint the pain points that needs to be improved in terms of the workflow itself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was great. This project has been really exciting for us. We work closely with the Department of HIV and AIDS. It's one of the health areas we focus on in Malawi. Okay. I mentioned the HIV prevention work, yes. But as we're talking about viral load results return, we're really trying to address bottlenecks. So we want to make sure as soon as possible that the patient can get the information that's going to inform their treatment. Because if it's taking 90 days, 120 days to get that information, it's irrelevant at that point. They need to then get tested again and figure out actually what is my treatment plan, what is my viral load. So this has been great. And I think it's been great in decreasing that, what we call turnaround time. It just means how quickly you get your results from when they're ready at the lab. Okay. So it's been great for this specific use case, but in all of the technology we build out, yes, we're building it with the use case in mind, but it's for the broader health system. And so right now we're trying to figure out additional applications. So for example, HPV results. Okay. How can we use this? Because the technology is general, like it's just getting lab results and information to the individual. Yeah. And so, it comes down to, well, if there's lab results that are digitally available, there's no reason why it can't leverage the technology that we built out. And so we're continually evolving that and working closely with the Department of HIV and AIDS and then the Digital Health Division to build the capacity of the technical team there to transfer over the technology. So that's also over the next few months what Angle Dimension and some of our team will be supporting to do is getting their team ready so that as future applications, as it expands to support other health areas, that the government will have the capacity to do that.
Amazing. It sounds like an idea that I also had a couple of years ago, but we can talk off camera.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. Is it gossip or?
No, it's like go tech. I'm about to be a genius somehow, you know. I am a freaking ass genius. People, I'm a genius somewhere. Technology, I do dabble somewhere. Okay, so the second project, Path to Scale project. Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead.
Wow.
Brand.
No, but I think it's so yes, I think what's going on in the health space, yes, on the Path to Scale project is basically what Cass was talking about. For data to make sense, it means you need to have different data points talk to each other.
Okay.
And then, because if you have silos or siloed systems that are just independent of each other, it's very difficult.
Teacher. Dump it down a bit. I mean, you went on technical.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So dumb it down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the example of the Via Road project,
Thank you.
right? You'd see that there's we never dig deeper into it, but there are systems that are interconnected in there.
Okay.
So if my sample, I've gone to the lab and I've given my sample to the lab
Yes.
in what GTP, or for argument's sake, in Chikwawa, right? This is a hospital, a rural hospital. And so my samples have been collected, and obviously I have to be able to register my phone number so that if the results are ready, then they're able to notify me.
Okay.
But you see, there's a courier also who comes to the hospital and collect the samples.
Yes.
Because obviously some of the lab are actually a mile away or some kilometers away from the clinic. So the courier who would come to collect the samples, obviously they have a system, to be able to be tracked.
Yeah.
If they have collected samples in Chikwawa and where are they right now. So that's another system. When they get to the lab, the lab technician is going to collect the samples and process them. When they are ready, the results are ready. Obviously, they'll have to punch in some system somewhere also, of the results. That's also another system.
Okay.
So when I'm saying the siloed systems, it means if the lab system is not talking to any other system, is independent, the courier who collected the sample, their system is also silent. We don't know, it's not connected to any other system. And the phone number of the patient is also not talking to any of the systems. Mm-hmm. Then the data is not going to make sense because, we're just going to look at it independently. Okay, we have the phone number. Yes. Okay. Then what? We have the lab results, but yes, then what? Whose are they?
Yeah.
So the Path to Scale project is, I think it goes beyond what we're doing, which is pretty much making sure that the systems are talking to each other. And then, again, focusing on a dashboard that is going to help the decision makers to look at how the systems are talking to each other and how the data is actually coming out of the project that Castle is going to talk about. Those ones, you call them what? It's not PrEP, it's injectable.
Yes, injectable PrEP. Yes.
She's going to talk about that. But the idea is to build a dashboard that looks at the whole ecosystem, and then simplify it in a form where even you as a layperson, you can log in and say, then we're not doing good, based on the graphs and everything. But in the back end, obviously, you have different things that are talking to each other, bringing and aggregating data. So that's what we're doing. But the project, I think, is beyond building a dashboard. And I'll let Cassie expound.
Yes.
Okay.
Had to help these.
Yes.
So the reason why this technology is important is so there's a drug that exists. It's pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Okay.
And what is mostly what is in Malawi are in tablet forms. But they are daily tablets, which is very burdensome because you have to remember to take a pill every day at the same time. It can cause stigma. Like there's a lot of issues that you're combating. Also having to go get the medication again. So over the last few years, all the researchers have been working to figure out an injectable drug that, yes, you get an injection, meaning you don't have to take a pill every day. to prevent HIV. So right now there is what they call an implementation science study where drugs approved, but they're now figuring out, is it going to work, right? Because drug may be there, but you have to introduce it to a population. You have to figure out, how do you create demand among certain populations? There's a cost, of course, associated with the drug. Are you able to create enough demand to where it's actually a cost-effective drug that you're introducing? And what other issues are you going to encounter amongst specific populations? Talking about men who have sex with men, sex workers, drug addicts. There's specific populations that are targeted for HIV prevention. So that's what the study is looking at. And then Angle Dimension is supporting with all of, I won't get into the research and data collection that's happening, but there's a lot of information that we need in order to determine if indeed this drug is valuable in this context.
Okay. So just for curiosity's sake, it's just research. Is the drug there? This injectable drug, it's already there.
Yes.
It's operational.
Yes.
Casa has a few in her bags, actually.
Don't go there, bro. Yeah.
No, unfortunately,
would you want it? If you're open.
We hope one day we will get there, and it will, if it proves, the study proves that this is valuable and it's cost effective, and that we can get the large donors to get this drug, it will make a world of a difference, because that's what we're really combating now. Like the Department of HIV and AIDS and all of the implementing partners and the government have worked really hard to help make sure people are on their drugs when they have HIV. And now it's a matter of, wow, we're still getting people that are contracting HIV. How can we prevent this? What measures can we put in place? And this is a huge one. So if it can move forward, it'll be very exciting.
It would be. It would. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of it, like injections or medicine, but
you don't like shots? Yeah.
Nothing. Pills, nothing. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, but give me herbs, maybe.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I mean, you can drink them.
To drink them? They're bitter sometimes.
You can add sugar.
Oh, okay. Want it to disturb the concoction? You should have said you put sugar in one wig. You should have said.
Luckily, there's other prevention measures, so we can still help you. For those that would like the injectable, it's available. So we have different means,
True. All right. So the last one that I have, the WhatsApp chat box for the Ministry of Health.
Actually, that was the.
This is the whole thing. It's like
no. So that was the first because the COVID-19. If you remember, I mean, sometimes when you're talking about I was at one of the public institutions this afternoon, and they still have the signpost for the keep distance, social distance, and I think when you look at it 2 years ago, when you talk about COVID. I think slowly the true picture is actually fading away, right? Of how the reality was back then, right? But yes, so the chatbot for the Ministry of Health was very big during COVID-19, because if you remember during COVID-19, if you're feeling the symptoms of COVID, then you'd have to call, there was a phone number, or you'd have to go on this chatbot, for example, and register yourself that you're feeling COVID-like symptoms. And you'd have to say which district you're in and submit all your details. And so what that was doing was it was then collecting this information based on the district that you've specified, notify the district health officer of that district. Gugu says she's feeling like COVID-like symptoms, because you're not allowed to go to the hospital, remember? They were saying would come to you.
Yeah, I do remember that.
See, it's fading away.
It really is.
It also, in my defense, I kind of switched off. I was not existing during that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even though I did get COVID, but nobody knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said herbs.
No, was it the one that took away the taste, smell?
I lost that
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for a week.
Yeah, that was the
Sorry.
Yeah.
that was a bad one.
But that's when I knew, like, I have COVID. But I didn't know that, like, the previous weeks, like,
Yes.
I didn't know that I'm suffering from it until I lost my smell and taste. I was like, what's going on?
Wow.
Why can I smell this? And actually, for me to actually, I tasted. I did an experiment. Like I said, I'm a genius, right? So I cooked, what do we call, usiba.
Oh.
Like the one that actually has the strongest smell, yeah? So I cooked that. I
To
couldn't smell anything.
test to test if your smell
No,
is really gone.
Wow.
Sense
I
of
couldn't
smell.
smell nothing. I tasted it. I ate it.
Okay, so
nothing.
how did you know this usipa was actually the one that has the strong?
It's the dry one. yeah, it's a dry one. Like the doctor may know the usibomi somari.
No, it's like a blind man saying, "I want to find a bigger stone."
I know my fish.
That
alright?
if I throw it, then you're right.
Brian,
I mean, you've lost your sense
You're judging my knowledge on stinky fish.
of. Okay,
It got personal
Okay.
really fast. I'm sorry you had
that was very
COVID.
smart.
But okay, so go on about the Starbucks thing. Yeah.
No, so yes, so that was one of the interventions that we actually came in the space. I mean, the partnership that focused on that, and so subsequently there were other use cases that were coming in, and definitely, obviously, the Ministry of Health has a number of use cases to be used on the chatbot. The chatbot technology has taken over in the industries like banking, where you can get a bank statement from your WhatsApp. National Bank does that already.
Oh.
Yeah. And other banks. So the Ministry of Health is looking at also bringing other use cases on such a platform. And so COVID-19 was like a testing phase. I mean, it worked with the Ministry of Health through the Department of the Digital Health Department division. They were able to keep track of how many people have registered COVID-like symptoms, how many have been visited. There were also resource constraints to be able to actually register and get visited by the health officials. In most cases, they'll just call you and say, "Okay, are you coughing? It's okay, just take a lot of water and whatever." But that's where the chatbot actually was born from. It's just a continuation of those and building on top of it. Yeah. So during the when the travel ban was lifted, people could travel. Obviously, you needed to have a certificate, COVID vaccine certificate, and so there were other use cases where maybe the Ministry of Health was also experimenting to have you generate the COVID vaccination certificate on the chatbot, as opposed to you visiting their offices just to collect your certificate so that you can travel during that time.
That happened? It worked?
I think it did in the test. It did in the test. It did when they were getting ready to actually roll it out. That's when
the ban was lifted.
people like you don't need the COVID vaccination certificate anymore, so you can just travel. So the demand I think it decreased. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the exciting things about the chatbot, well, a couple things. One, all of the features that were developed for the chatbot were replicated in the SMS and USSD application. So it wasn't something where, you have to have a smartphone to leverage this. You could also, have a non-digital phone. So that was really great. And of course, CCPF was used too. And now I think that, as Bram was saying, there's so many opportunities, like with the certificate for the chatbot, especially now with the proliferation of AI. There's a lot of opportunities there to, potentially access that type of platform and then get health-related information. So, yeah.
All right. I lost money with this certificate thingy.
Oh, really? Yeah?
This COVID certificate thing. Yeah. Like I was traveling to Zimbabwe this other time. I took a bus. Dumb me. Right? So I was like, cool. The ban was lifted that time though. So, but then I got to one of, what do you call those?
The Minister of Health offices to get your certificate.
Right. So I traveled without it. Like I know you don't need it. When I was leaving Malawi, like you don't need it. But when I got to the border, like Zimbabwe border, brother, I lost money.
Yes.
I lost money there. Yeah, like no, where's your COVID certificate?
They still needed it.
They still needed it.
I think Zimbabwe was the last to remove the ban.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah. If I had known that the chatbot
this
was
is as early as last year. Zimbabwe was still requiring.
Really?
Yes.
Because I think that was last year when I traveled.
Okay.
So if I had known about this chatbot, guys, I would have just generated it right there and
then travel.
and then not spend any money.
You didn't have it generated before.
No.
Because someone said
because it's okay, you don't need it, so you can just
So
I didn't have the right information back then.
Oh yeah, because there's a portal where you can do it.
Yes,
there is,
but then you have to have.
Why didn't we have
certain
this
information.
episode like 2 years ago? I feel we're a bit late. Feel like we're a bit late for this kind of conversation now. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so we have talked about 3 projects so far that you have done. Yeah. Are there any more that you guys are working on? Like maybe 1 or 2 extra?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I think Path to Scale is still ongoing now.
All right.
We're still working on it.
Okay.
It's not a finished product yet. So if you're asking, are there any projects? Yes, we're working on Path to Scale project right now. Yes.
I'm about to be an assistant in there. Yeah, because I feel like I have the one piece that you don't have. Yeah.
What
Is
is
this
that?
offline conversation? You can't put it out there because then the multiple bids coming in.
Truly. All right, so 3 projects. What motivated you guys to actually collaborate on these 3 projects that we've talked about? The motivation.
No, I think so. Cassie says, and this is actually the truth. They also have a team of developers, right? And I think oftentimes you look at each other as in the context of the local context. We look at each other as competitors. Okay, if you're a developer, and obviously I can't talk to you because we are competitors.
The Malawian kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think this is just to paint a picture that you can both exist in the same domain and still collaborate and complement each other's work. There are projects that they are doing, blunder prevention strategy, for example, that also is heavy on the technology. We're not working on it. They're working on it like 100%.
Yeah.
We like to think of it as a partnership that realizes each other's strength, and we respect that. And I think that's the most important thing, to be able to know this is what we're good at. And when you're given the task also, you have to be able to deliver it to the expectation of your other stakeholder. And that's how you actually coexist in the space.
Yeah. And I think some of it almost felt natural. I think, like you said, with the viral load piece, that was leveraging USSD. So we knew they could surely execute on that because they did it for COVID-19. So that was easy. And I think at the time, as PTS was coming online, you all had expanded your team a bit, and they had like data scientists and other key folks that could fill the gap.
I forgot about that.
Yes. They grew a lot. How many are you now?
About 26. But so when
how many were you then?
We're 26 too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us.
That's so nice. Okay, how many were you before?
Oh, we were what, like it took on me maybe what, 8?
Yeah.
From 8 to 26.
Yeah, that was like, and
yeah, that's amazing.
When she called for the Path to Scale, which is the PTS, we were looking retrospectively, just on the Viral Road project. Like we were laughing, like, guys, no, we didn't know how to handle projects back then.
Wow.
Because now I think we've the way she's putting it, we've grown not just in numbers, but also I think we now understand the nitty-gritties of how you can handle the project of any magnitude using specific standards and obviously be able to meet the international standards. So the growing of the team is like, when you look back, they trusted us. I mean, how would you trust someone who has like eight people just sitting somewhere and like?
So we were the same. We also,
you were also 8 back then.
Back when I 2020, early 2020, we were 8.
Oh,
yeah. So we're on the same growth trajectory.
We're growing up together.
Like, are you the same?
Yeah, you are. This is nice. I love this. Wow. See those stories that we wanted to talk about. This.
Yeah.
We're doing it. This is nice.
And I think of course, like we're talking about the technology, and the technology is complex and hard, but also, I mean, not easy, but easy in the sense of, as you all have seen, the constant adaptations we have to make to the technology because, actually in context, this isn't working, or maybe this needs to change a bit, and this ID we have to enter is too long, and all the things that we encounter as we're testing out the solutions and adaptations that need to happen. It's a huge lift, and so it's valuable to have a partner that understands the context, understands the technology bit, is working on the ground with our other team members, and
Okay, no, that is very beautiful. All right, so working closely with the government, I do understand it can be a little bit crucial, especially for digital health. How did you manage to establish and maintain this partnership properly?
Yeah, I think for us, the partnership with the Ministry of Health is the most important. The government is the most important because we only build solutions based on their needs. So we figure out what is the problem and then how can we solve that problem. But as I said earlier, the solutions have to be sustained. And in order to do that, we have to have capacity in government. Like AD can build out the coolest chatbot, USSD, but there's no expertise to give that to, or some type of entity that's going to take that on and maintain it, because it doesn't maintain itself. You have to keep updating the technology, right? Yes. So if that doesn't exist, then we don't really exist. Working with the government is the majority of my job. They're like our number one stakeholder in all of this, to figure out what are your needs? How do we make sure that the technology we're building is useful and sustainable? How do we figure and cost effective? How do we make sure there's funding that's going to continue to pay for these solutions? Because even though we focus on open source, our global goods, nothing free is free in every aspect of everything in the world, especially in technology. So we have to make sure that there's continual funding and some type of mechanism to keep these systems alive, and they benefit the entire health sector. As Bram was talking about, systems being isolated, like, yes, that's technical, but what that impacts is your care as an individual. That means that when I go to Area 18 health clinic, and if I'm not able to see my entire patient history, that's not as valuable, right? I'm not able to get a holistic care. And so we're trying to help by eliminating those silos, as he said.
Yeah. The tech jargon. Okay. You have anything to add?
Okay, so
go ahead.
have you been to Kanengo?
Kanengo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are silos there.
Yes.
That they put mains. Have you seen them?
I was going to say that.
Have you seen them?
Yes.
They're, 1, 2 there, independent.
Yeah.
So that's the silo, like,
but then
standing individually on your own kind of
I feel like I'm defeated. I feel like I don't have anything else to add on that.
No. It's not. This is just like, there's all these like buzzwords in tech, especially in like digital health. That are terrible. But everyone in the field uses it, and then you start saying it, and you're like, what am I? This isn't a word that people use. So as we're sitting here talking to you, you're like, what are you saying?
Why are we saying that? There was a moment. I don't know, people. Like,
No, from now on, you will
But
actually also say, you'll be saying it to your colleagues. Like, you'll be throwing it here and there.
no, like, give it to me like maybe to 10 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I will learn. Yeah, I'm learning as we're going. Also, like my intelligence is going up.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
That's good.
So I'm loving this. I'm loving this for all of us. Leon,
That's good.
are you
That's
learning? We're going to be talking tech, yeah? Hey, bro, next time when all the people are in the building, you and me, we should just be having this kind of conversation.
Like,
silos.
Can we have a siloed conversation in the back, please? Yeah.
I'm telling you. Okay. So, what are some of the unique challenges and rewards of blending private sector innovation with public health infrastructure?
Wow.
Silos.
That escalated. Okay.
Yeah, the silos. Yeah.
You coined that?
I said I'm a little bit intelligent.
No, I think in the Malawi context, I don't think. I mean, the challenge is to be able to build capacity, within the government, in terms of infrastructure, because at the end of the day, you don't want to build systems that are hosted, for example, elsewhere, besides the government infrastructure, government-owned infrastructure. So maybe the challenges could be. And this is not only just in the health sector. We've seen this in other sectors. We've seen this with the immigration issue, for example.
Oh, yeah.
That speaks to. We've seen this with the MATI system at the road traffic. That speaks to when systems are done. Are we able to build capacities in government so that when the vendor leaves, right, then we're able to support. As Cass puts it, you need to still continue updating it, changes and stuff like that. Do we have our own people that can do this fluently, without relying on the expertise from elsewhere? So that's I think that's one area that we have to really invest heavily as a country.
Okay. You have anything?
Yeah, I think the private-public partnership is important because everyone benefits. At the end of the day, all of these systems are resulting in data. And I've already talked about how the data is valuable for me as a person, for decision makers, but for the private sector, data is important too, right? That's how you figure out, what drives your market, how you take your next steps for your business development or what. There's a lot of value proposition there. And so it's a matter of figuring out how you meet everyone's need. And yeah, I think the infrastructure pieces, and there's certain components that are needed for digital health that the government just can't do all on its own. So it's going to require everyone to come to the table and figure out, how they all move it forward.
Correct. So just to add on Cass's point, so the flexibility that exists within the DHD, which is the Digital Health Division, to allow private sectors, right, to come in and obviously say, look, these are the best practices that we're doing in the private sector. I think is for me, and I've brushed this as well in many other ministries' eyes, to say the best model that's working, because this is working. It's a model that is working. Is what the Minister of Health has done to be working with the private sector, like Coopersmith, to allow them bring in these latest technologies and the government be able to consume them and look at the data from a different perspective. What drives me, like for me, that the motivating story about one of the use cases that these guys did was, and Cass, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the use of the CDR data, for example, to be able to map out the movement of people, right?
Okay.
And help government to make decisions in terms of during rainy season, the distribution of the medicines in all the government hospitals. So they used, this was all anonymized, by the way, so there was no breaching of the data privacy issues. But they were looking at the data that you use when you're making calls on the phone, calling people, whatever. So triangulating it and be able to determine in Lilongwe during the rainy season, what is the population, right? Are people moving from Lilongwe to Blantyre, for example, and therefore the health systems are burdened in Blantyre lesser than Lilongwe. And by looking at the data, you are able to say, okay, then if we're distributing drugs, let's focus more during rainy season.
Yeah.
Let's focus on Blantyre because there are more people migrating to Blantyre for maybe farming activities, and therefore there'll be more burdened than Lilongwe, right? These are decisions you cannot make if you're not looking at this data in a granular kind of and this is using latest technologies, as I said.
Yeah.
So that's one of the beauties of allowing private sector to come in with their best practices and say, this is how we can also look at the data, and government being flexible to allow those kinds of latest technologies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Whoa. When you said how like movement of people, what I was thinking was what you have explained. Totally different.
Oh no! I mean, no. It was not whether you're drinking somewhere or no. It was not that. No,
Bram,
no.
Bram, we're friends.
Or
Here.
maybe you're recording podcast somewhere. No, it was not.
We're all friends here. We're trying to be an enemy. Why are you trying to be my enemy?
Don't turn off your phone when you're moving around.
I'll hold this one for later on. Yeah, that thing that we were talking about that I said I was going to tell the world. Yeah, I might just end up throwing it
to you, right?
Yeah,
okay.
to him. Yeah, I might
What
just
do you
end
mean
up.
to you?
I'm saying, I'm just making sure I wasn't involved. I'm just,
He's
we're
the one
in the
bringing all the
clear.
shade, so I might just end up, throwing it to the people.
Okay, I'm
Nothing
a good
but
boy
sunshine.
Okay, so have there been any significant hurdles in aligning your goals with those of the government or other stakeholders? How did you overcome them?
You can take that.
As in, you're not going to give a reply at all?
Oh,
Are you going
no, I'll
to
just pass it on to you.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll reframe that as like lessons learned.
Okay.
I think lessons learned and like successes that have come out. I think as we started working in Malawi in 2015, the main project that we were focusing on evolved a lot, right? It initially started as HIV focused, and we're trying to right size the electronic medical records where HIV clients or all their data sits essentially. And then that later became, in order for that to be, that's how it happened. In order for that to be valuable, we really need to figure out, what does digital health look like in Malawi?
Yeah.
So that means doing the nerdy tech stuff, right? Building out the core systems that are going to support data exchange to make sure that no matter where you present, I know that it's Cassie that's at this clinic. And it also involved policy, right?
Yeah.
That's really important. And that will help with the impacts that we see with in Malawi and any place with a government, is that power shifts, right?
Yes.
So there's certain foundational things that you need in place in order to continue to move progress forward. And so, working on those policies, just a few months ago, the senior management team at the Ministry of Health approved Malawi's first digital health policy, which was amazing. And that's setting a great foundation for what digital health is going to look like in Malawi.
Sure.
And will impact a lot of other sectors outside of health too. And so making sure that those foundations are strong are really critical. And also making sure that things last beyond project cycles, right? Because, the Malawi government, unfortunately, is put in a place where money is coming in, but it's for 3 years or for 4 years or for 1 year or for 6 months. And it's a small pilot and it's only in Chihuahua. And it's like, and so it's just constantly just so many distractions, so many demands. So trying to coordinate is really key. As I said, the technology is hard and it has to happen, but the rest of the environment, the policy, the leadership, the workforce is a lot of work. And that is what really needs to be strong for the technology to succeed. And so those are the key things that we're focusing on in Malawi, to make sure that we can just progress forward and leverage novel data like mobile network, climate data, satellite imagery to further inform decision making.
Okay. Bram, still quiet on this one?
She summarized it.
Oh, everything? You're not...
No.
Okay.
Lessons learned.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so you have no lesson at all.
No, I mean, I subscribe
I'm just
to...
saying, because that's like...
Wow.
Is this like the whole me being a good boy kind of thing? So you just went into your corner and you're not going to say a word?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, this one is for you. The next one, she's not going to say
What if I start being silent too? It's gonna
Truly.
get real awkward.
Really. This one, I feel like it's a little bit in your arena. This one is all about you.
Okay.
Bram. So yeah, it's all about artificial intelligence.
What about artificial intelligence?
Yeah, amazing. Look at you saying something
I started
exciting.
listening.
I like the way that you just got so excited about artificial intelligence. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, so artificial intelligence is basically revolutionizing various sectors. Yeah, you mentioned about the health sector and other sectors that you've been busy working with. So how is this AI being integrated into your digital health solutions, and what impact do you see it having in Malawi?
Wow.
Yeah, go on.
No, I think it's. I mean, we live in a time where we can't shy away from where the rest of the world is actually going.
Yes.
It can be like the rest of the world is taking this direction, and then you're like, we take this direction. We'll meet you there. So in most of our work that we're doing now, we're trying to one thing that it has done, the artificial intelligence has done, is that it has simplified some of the heavy lifting that we used to do in delivering the same work, right? So now there are tools that are simplifying visualization of the data, for example. If you train a model just to say, focus on these data points and give me what you think is actually coming out of those data points, that has been a great, tremendous use of artificial intelligence. But we are more focusing mostly on the aspect of identifying the patient. That's something that we're working on to be able to, and I think this was there was an announcement by the NRB in Malawi.
Okay.
The basic fundamental document that you can use as an identification is the ID itself.
Yes.
And so trying to build everything around it is I think what is going to determine or define how the citizenry are going to be accessing different systems, whether in healthy or any other public systems, or even in private sector. And so what we're trying to do is, how can we identify people, from different data points. So when I say data points, I mean from the bank, when you go to the hospital, you don't have to. Right now, one of the bad use cases of collecting that data is that if you have two bank accounts, you would have to go to bank A and then do your KYC there, for example, and then walk out of that bank and then go collect the other forms from the other bank, and because you don't want your bank account to be closed. And so if we can use the national ID to omni identify a patient. So if you go to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, you don't have to present, for example, your national ID. You can just go there and they'll take a picture of you, and using artificial intelligence, do the facial comparison with what NRB has, and then whether it really is you or not, and then you proceed to get the care that you're looking for. Is something that we're actually experimenting with AI right now.
I feel like it's already moving. You scared me right there. Bro. I was like, I need to go into hiding.
Why?
Yeah. Go on with your story.
With your story?
Yes. I'm so
the sci-fi
intrigued.
novel, please.
Yes. Very. Okay. So
that's one of the best. I mean, it's a best use case because, so at the end of the day, remember, Cassie talked about, we'll go back to the silos conversation.
All right.
If the systems, so Area 18 clinic
Yes.
has a system, and they know there's a patient called Gugu, came last week and was prescribed with Fansida.
Yes.
Right? for malaria. And 2 weeks later, you want to go for a checkup, but you're in Blantyre in this case.
Yeah.
Right? And you have gone to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital. Or you've run out of your prescription. You want to fill up your prescription. And so if the systems are not talking to each other, they're not siloed, you are going to have to begin the process of submitting your patient history. You know, what happened for you last week? You know, I had gone to area 18 and whatever. With AI and the systems that are interconnected, you just have to show your face or your fingerprint, and then the rest of the information is going to be obviously presented there. Yeah, and then, you know.
Sure. Leon.
Yeah.
Things on the internet. If you just put your fingerprint somewhere, they'll get you. They have all your information.
Who is they also? Huh? Like, who is they? Like, who's going to get
Aliens. We're talking about artificial intelligence here. Aliens, Bram. It's all science fiction here, people. It's all science fiction.
Yeah. I do think like digital identity is figuring that out is so important. Health sector, beyond, like it's going to be a critical piece.
Yeah.
I think though, like some of your worries around like, what does this mean? Is something we're trying to think about at Cooper Smith in terms of how do we create an environment where governments can test out all these new technologies? Because there's so many and they're changing every day and evolving really quickly. And there's so many really great applications that could be helpful for Malawi. But as Bram, I think you mentioned earlier around, where is my data secure?
Yes.
Like, where is my information going? And so Cooper Smith is trying to, we're working on building what they call data sandbox, which is just a protected environment where you can play around with these different tools and figure out what works and doesn't work before you move on to like deploying it. So like making sure that those protective measures are in place to secure the data. Because I mean, there's some really cool applications and things that you can do that will create all of these efficiencies in the health sector and beyond, and help with decision making and all of those pieces. So it's important to figure out how to use it. It's just a matter of like, you know, let's do it as securely as possible and make sure our data isn't being sent, you know, overseas somewhere where the government isn't interested in it. If they want it to stay here, then it's just stay here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it is actually a great thing, and I can't wait to actually see it in action. In as much as I'm scared about it, like, I mean, I just go one place and all the systems, they just work. And they have my information.
But you see, I think this is where I think this is where also. So if you look at the digital ecosystem, right? Google is more exposed to technology, right? In the context of the local community. Imagine she's thinking about, you know, all these fears, right? So the other element that comes with this is a responsibility for implementing partners to also engage in digital literacy, for example, right? You don't want to go to a rural healthy center and people are, you know, because I mean, people start spreading rumors like, no, you know, they have the 666, they have actually taken this and
it's
right?
happening.
Yeah, so... but I think there's a need for that level of civic education, you know, to be able to distinguish the conversation that is more religion and then the conversation that allows you to demand for better services from your government by adopting these latest technologies, even in the rural setting.
Yeah. No, I think my fear mostly it's for the local people because me, they can't find me, but it's for it's for everybody. They can never catch me. Okay. Yeah, truly. Not even you, Bram. I know you might go deep diving on the dark web or whatever.
Are we starting the gossip part now? Is it now that we're starting?
Maybe he might decide to get me because of whatever I did. But yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. But I think like I don't know, it's interesting because if you think about if you had never used mobile money and
Yeah.
someone explained it to you,
Yes.
you would be like, what?
What is
Yeah.
this?
I'm not going to use that.
Yes.
Sure.
But they'll know, like, I'm sending payments. Like, right? It sounds scary, right? But if the private sector has been able to create a trusted environment and you
Yes.
trust the technology and you're educated about the technology and it's convenient for you, then okay, I'm going to use it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of, getting to that specific use case that is valuable
Yes.
to you. That
And,
No,
and create the demand itself. as
Yeah.
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I think the civic education actually really works.
No, so
here.
civic education.
Yeah.
But also, I think the way Cass is putting it, if there's a demand enough, I mean, 5 years ago, for example,
Yes.
people would come and say, "Oh, in Kenya, you can actually buy a banana along the street using mobile money,"
Yes.
and we're like, "What? You can do that?" But now, you can do that even in Malawi.
Yeah,
now,
we can now.
right? 5 years down the line.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like someone went and sat down all the banana sellers and like, okay, look, you're missing out. So, here's what we want to, but they actually saw the potential
Yes.
and said, you know what, I think we can also, slowly they started adopting into those kinds of, payment channels. So similarly with the healthy sector, if people are going to be shy, and it's okay, in the early stages, but I think it's going to create a demand that people are actually going to get used, and they would actually see the easiness to get the services, because they'll compare with getting a healthy passport and standing in a long queue versus just going and getting you just put a fingerprint and then you're into the vitals room and then you proceed to the other consultations.
Okay, my wheels started turning right there. So this experiment, it can work in other sectors as well. Like, for example, maybe the bank or low traffic one or one not, right? Let's say you've gone to the road traffic and you don't have your ID with you, so you just put your finger and then it gives you the whole information. Be like, oh yeah. Yeah, so. You're
Right
good
now,
to go.
it's happening already. I mean, if you have an entity card or even driver's license, right?
Yeah.
So next time you go to do a renewal, they would say, just put your fingerprint.
Yeah.
And that is going to tell them who you are based on
Okay.
the details they collected by, last time you came to do your driver's license.
Amazing.
So that's already there.
Now this is amazing.
Yeah.
Now my heart is down. I'm
okay.
good. I'm good. Yeah, we can move.
scare them.
We can move.
We thought we lost you.
No, you found me. You found me. I'm
perfect.
here. I'm
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Progress.
Look at you. Nice. All right. So, are there any upcoming projects or initiatives you are particularly excited about? What new challenges are you aiming to tackle through this project?
Yeah. So one thing about this sort of a partnership is that we're very flexible with each other.
Okay.
And so sometimes, we are a tech company, and sometimes we'll come up with these crazy ideas and like, Cassie, do you think we can actually work on something like, test it and pilot it? And so those ideas are always coming in and we're having conversations, and definitely, obviously, we should be soon collaborating on a particular project that we can together put our resources together and experiment some things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. We are constantly sending each other very long requests for proposals and requests for quotations.
Quotations are good. It means money.
Yeah, exactly. To see if we can partner and submit something together. I think, the opportunities are endless. We have a lot of projects in Malawi, but we also work outside of Malawi. So not just restricted here, but a lot of opportunities to take some of the work that we've done here, because
Yes.
Malawi is very far ahead in digital health and what they've done. They are on an international stage and presenting best practices. Like, it's really
Nice.
amazing.
You need to emphasize that, please.
You
you
can
want-
you can
because we're always looked at, so the stories that are actually trending about Malawi
Yeah.
is, like we're no longer the chairperson of the least developed countries.
we're not.
I think
We
no
have
longer.
upgraded ourselves.
No, chairing the
Okay.
the committee. We're no longer. But I think so. What I'm trying to say is we're hunger stricken,
Yes.
cyclones,
Yes.
least developed country. Always negative news, but I think there are better things that are actually happening. In fact, if you look at our ID, for example, it's based in Africa. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah. Right. So, but we need to focus on positive news that are
You're
coming
so
out.
proud of yourself, ain't you?
Being a Malawian, yes. Right now, yes. So, Cass, you were saying, sorry, I cut
Yeah, no. What was I saying?
you. That Malawi is...
Yes, Malawi is amazing.
Yeah.
No, I mean the work they're doing is, I mean, they're going to international conferences and presenting, consulting, and getting experts to come in to look at the solutions they've developed, and to see how they can further them. And the work they have done to make sure that the core pieces of the digital health environment are strong, and they can support all these new cool technologies and leverage all these different data sources is really, really amazing. So like hats off to the Malawi government and the digital health division.
No, you guys also, you're like the pioneers. You're like the ambassadors in this whole digital health thing.
We're like the chef who is always behind. Like,
I knew you were gonna spin it around and
It's
say
food.
something.
I'm not gonna
your
do that.
restaurant.
Truly, I knew you were gonna say something.
Just, in the background.
Why are you doing this, Bram? Why?
Saving spaghetti. Like, enjoy.
All right. So looking ahead, how are you planning to scale the impact of your partnership to benefit more areas or sectors within Malawi or beyond?
Right. No, I think Cass touched on that to say that we are constantly, talking to each other. When we incorporated in Rwanda, I think she was one of the proudest people that we're now because obviously they're also in Rwanda. They do some work in Rwanda. So definitely looking at what we have successfully done in Malawi, if it can be replicated in other countries like Rwanda, then definitely that's the future that we're looking forward to. Okay. Together.
All right. So just to add more on that, I want us to go a little bit into your vision. Like, what is your vision now? Like from here?
Here?
Yeah.
No. So, I mean, Cass would expand on that. But I think for us, the vision is that we have success stories from Malawi, right? And most of the problems in the digital health space in Africa are related. So if you're addressing a specific problem here in Malawi and it's working, it's very easy for you to replicate the same in other African countries. So the vision is, can we collaborate more in Malawi and make things work? Yeah. And obviously look at other geographical regions that we can actually take the same collaborations to.
Okay, you've said something about success stories.
Yes.
Give me one.
The Viral Road Project is one of the success stories from Malawi.
Yeah. I thought like you're going to hit me with something different.
Unfortunately not yet.
Okay. All right.
But I think one of the ones that is related to the Path to Scale. So I was mentioning the HIV prevention project, and Path to Scale is actually building upon the technology that was built there. Yeah. And so that's where I think I focused on the data interface, right? Yes. So seeing all the cool dashboards that tell you, what's going right, what's going wrong. Yeah. But behind that is what we call a data pipeline, and it's what's breaking those silos, right? So it's bringing in
you're the one that has done something, guys. you went with the jackets again right there.
Breaking silos.
Look at you.
I'm trying to help you. You're not gonna get this out of your head.
I switched up.
Silos. Your dream of silos. Yes. All of it.
Okay, go on.
What am I saying? Yes. So this pipeline is taking in data from like the health management information system, right? Yes. So, monthly, quarterly, aggregated statistics. It's taking in research data and then, creating that visualization. Nice. So that's happening for HIV prevention right now. Can happen all across the health sector, but it can also bring in climate data. It can also bring in mobile network operated data. Like that tech isn't specific to health. Like that can be replicated and leveraged in agriculture or other parts of whatever. Like it can be used anywhere. So I think that's definitely a possibility. I think
to explore other
other areas.
Okay, no, that is a great success story. I mean, you're just sticking to the old ones. No,
I'm very humble.
Humble. Humble where? All right. So for aspiring entrepreneurs or those looking to create similar impactful partnerships, what advice would you give based on your experience?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I think don't try to do everything. I think that's the problem. Most of the times we get lost in the noise, right?
Okay.
You're chasing everything that's that looks like a chicken, and you want to catch a chicken. I don't know whether that analogy actually applies.
Yeah,
but I think
you also lost me.
I felt like I just needed to say it.
Are you hungry?
Oh, because I need a chicken.
I was like,
Where are we going with this? Okay.
But you don't chase the chicken that is running to eat it. But yes, I think the most.
Wait, what?
thought she was gonna let it go.
Yeah, I know. You don't chase the chicken. What?
Okay, that's the local chicken. Yeah, the Lord Runner.
Okay. Okay, go on. I forgive you. Go on.
Thank you. So the most important lesson is, I think, be good at what you do. Because if you're gonna enter into a partnership, it means you really are putting your reputation, integrity, up there, and therefore, if people are gonna trust you, you really have to be, good at what you do, and that comes with experience and years of hard work.
Yeah.
But these collaborations are possible if you just are disciplined enough to stick to what you've been given as your scope and deliver on time, on budget. I think there are a lot of opportunities out there that can actually, people can collaborate with any other entrepreneur or tech startup company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really great. I think what has made our partnership so valuable is that we've built trust in each other, because when we say we're going to do something, we do it, right? We showed up. I'm doing all the tech heavy lifting, obviously. But
Yeah, power to the women.
Power to the women.
I used to be
love that.
back in the day, but not anymore.
Oh, she's a data scientist.
Oh,
Years back.
they're scientists
Years
in the
back.
word.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It's
it's
scientists
like
in
what
the
you're
word.
saying.
So power to the women. In tech.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that has been really, really critical. And I think just, as an individual, especially someone that's interested in working in technology, the grind never stops. Like, you are constantly learning. You have to stay up to date with all of the standards, all the technologies. You have to be evaluating what works, what doesn't work. There's a lot. It doesn't stop, or you will not be relevant.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's like to the technology, but also to the people, right? Because if you're going to create something, it's for the people.
Yeah.
Unless you only want it for a few people. But ideally you don't. You want it to scale.
Yeah.
So, you have to be in touch, networking all across the board. It's really, really key.
Perfect. All right. So based on your journey, what policy changes do you think are necessary to further support innovation and partnerships in digital health? Yeah, we're laughing together.
You're going to throw that at me? Don't do that. I saw it in his eye. I know the look now at this point. I know the look.
I was like, maybe I was going to find your hand like, I'll take that. Like, I'm good.
You keep running away from those questions. Are they difficult for you, Bam? Are they that difficult?
They are not difficult. They are thought-provoking.
Then let's go.
Okay.
Yes.
So the policy is to support the tech startups in this case, or to support just the digital health ecosystem in Malawi? Both.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think on the I wouldn't, because our experience, unlike other key MDAs as they are called, or government agencies, I've said the model that the Ministry of Health has created is one that works. One that actually welcomes private sector. Even if you're I remember during the COVID-19, there was a group of young students from Mista, and they were part of the stakeholders working with Ministry of Health. Can you imagine that?
Is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And there was no policy. You're asking me about policy, but this is at that time, there was no policy that said, as government, you can still, but, a group of young students came in And they were given a workspace to say, okay, you're going to focus on this particular module. And since you said you can actually deliver, help us with that as Minister of Health, right? And so there was no policy. So maybe when you talk about the digital health independently, I would say we're good right now. We don't need a policy. Okay, so let's flip the coin.
Yeah, thank you.
Right? Last time I talked about a student from Diang University.
Yeah.
Who, in his final year project, he had done a system that would detect the number plate of the car that's, when it's approaching the toll gate using artificial intelligence again. So right now, if you're doing the toll gate, Chingen, and the other one is you would have to get, pay someone and then, you pass through. What this student had done in his final year project was that he was using artificial intelligence, put a camera on the toll gate.
Yes.
And the assumption is that you'd have prepaid as a card as a driver.
Okay.
So they would look at your number plate and it will recognize your prepaid card and just minus the money from your prepaid card and open the gate automatically. Off you go.
Yeah.
Right? And so the video was trending on social media.
Yeah.
It caught the eyes of the Minister of Transport.
Yeah.
It caught the eyes of the CEO of Roads. Is it Roads Fund, I think, or Roads Authority, one of the two, who are the custodians of the toll gates. And they said, I think, can we get this young man? I think it can help us with a toll gate, But the procurement laws say that if the government were to procure any system, they would have to tender it publicly. And the participating companies would have to be a registered company.
Okay.
With not less than, 3 years experience.
Yes.
And they should have a track record that they have done this somewhere else before. So I've just flipped the coin. So if you ask me about the Minister of Health, I said there was a group of young students from MAST that was working with Minister of Health.
Yeah.
Right? If you flip the coin, go to the Minister of Transport, where the toll gates actually belong, that's no longer the case. So yes, maybe we need the policies to level the playing field so that then we can allow such kinds of brilliant ideas, to flourish and without putting the red tapes just to prohibit young innovators.
Nice. Okay, now I see what you did there. That was smart. I like that.
I am smart.
Finally. What happened to I'm humble? What happened to that? The humbleness flew out of the window. No, guys, this has been really, really amazing to actually have the both of you here. So just to wrap up just a little bit, could you share one key insight or just a takeaway that you hope our listeners will remember about the power of collaboration in advancing healthcare technology?
I should start.
Obviously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
You've been
want to
running away like for so long. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think the key takeaway is that I think you can still be in the same space, but don't see each other as competitors, but rather how can you bring your efforts together and resources for the better good, and create something that, individually you cannot do, on your own. That's very, very powerful. There are greater things that can come out from such collaborations, even though you're competitors, but you can put your ego aside and say, look, let's put our resources together and work on something big. And I think this is a perfect example. We're not just saying because we've been reading some books, but we're saying we are doing it and we've seen the benefits of it.
Beautiful.
So that's a takeaway for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cassie?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think it's so important to, like you said, we have very similar composition of some of our team members, right? But that's not what it's about. It's about using each other to build each other up and produce something better for Malawi. And so entering in that space, we're able to collaborate and share ideas and share our strengths and become stronger in other areas together. So yeah, I think just having the conversation,
Yeah.
brought us to the table. And here we are on a podcast.
Yeah.
Talking about technology in health.
Scaring Gugu to never go to a hospital
Never.
anymore.
Never.
Get our details.
And I will let you know, I really don't like hospitals.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll bring the hospital to you.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't. No. What's wrong with hospitals?
No. I said that's fair. I think most people don't want to be.
Yeah, I don't
In
think
a
there's someone
hospital.
who is like, I
Yeah.
miss hospital.
But that's why we're here. We're trying to create the efficiency so you can get out of there. You get in there and then you get out of there.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You have to register every time.
Yeah.
So trying to get you out faster.
We
got
Yeah,
you.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Not now, but eventually. All right. So finally, where can our listeners learn more about your work and initiatives, especially Anglo Dimensions and Cooper Smith are involved in?
Wow.
Where can we find?
Can I pass that to? No. Can that
Cassie,
now?
Yeah,
Okay,
Cassie.
thank you.
Devin, I forgive you a little bit. Yeah, Cassie. Go.
Yes. So we have a website,
Okay.
www.coopersmith.org, that you can find out more about our specific projects and what we do in Malawi and Burkina Faso, Zambia, Kenya, and the other places that we work. Also, we are very active posting on Medium.
Okay.
So we have articles. We just released one on AI and health that I think would be very interesting. Have you seen it? Just say yes. You've read it. Twice.
On LinkedIn.
Yeah, the one. Yeah. See, I knew. Always, he's on top of it. Yes, we also
Look
push
at
it on
you, being a
LinkedIn.
good partner. Okay.
But yeah, we have some great articles on AI and
Yeah.
about some of the work we've done in Malawi,
Yes.
and also like peer-reviewed articles that are released. But links on our website. Find us on Medium. Learn about the work that we do.
No, that's really. We know where we can find you, right?
Yeah. Okay. She's still coming back to me. Okay, so yes, definitely. We also have so on all the social media
Yes.
platforms, but we also have a website, angodimension.com.
That's it.
Yeah, and you can also find us on Podcast Malawi page. Our content is there as well.
There. Podcast Malawi, people.
Yeah.
Podcast Malawi. All right, guys, this has been beautiful. I was with Bram and Cassie. Beautiful people, great conversations. I've laughed a lot. I don't think I've laughed this hard on a podcast before, but there's people that made me actually laugh. And all the technology. Yo. Yeah, that was actually beautiful. So until next time, last week of every month, we're always here talking with Anglo Dimensions, having amazing conversations, having beautiful people like Cassie and crazy people like Bram who think they're humble, but I don't think they are. But yeah. So, until next time, people, it's been me, Gugu. Ciao.